Bundesliga kicks off the new season on Friday, August 14th, with Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich hosting Hamburg. If you can't wait till then for your Bundesliga betting action, we do have some outright bets worth a look at right now. Joining us right now on the line is Stuart from TalkingTipsters.com. Stuart, thank you for joining us today.
Hi.
Now, we haven't spoken to you for quite some time now. What have you been up to?
I've been pretty busy, really. I've been wrangling programmers and working on a brand new website, which I actually launched today. So, people who are interested, they can go over to tipsterhq.com and have a look.
Fantastic. I'll put the link in the description below this video for those watching who would like to check it out. Now let's take a look at the top six. Last year in order saw Bayern Munich, Wolfsburg, Mönchengladbach, Bayer Leverkusen, Augsburg and Schalke rounding off the top six. But this year Dortmund is actually way up there with their odds. Let's take a look at those odds, and I tell you, Bayern Munich aren't even included on this because I'm guessing they're going to end up in the top six. But Dortmund actually has the lowest odds, 1.1. Wolfsburg is 1.12. Bayer Leverkusen 1.3, Mönchengladbach 1.42, Schalke 1.5, and then obviously we've got a little bit of value here for Augsburg, priced 4.5. So who are you putting in your top six, and do you agree that Dortmund is up there?
Yeah, I do. Jurgen Klopp has left. They brought in Thomas Tuchel, who is, a very well-regarded coach. He did some great work before at his previous club, and I think he's going to do the same again. He's innovative. He gets players who really want to play for him, and they're going to spend a little bit of money. They might lose a player or two, and they've had some good news today because Mats Hummels has said he will stay. So, with him staying at the club, the captain, that's a really good boost. Bayern obviously at the top. I don't think anyone's going to go against that. Then for me, I'm going for Dortmund, Wolfsburg, and Leverkusen. And obviously you've got Mönchengladbach, taking up the rear. So.
Would you consider Augsburg priced 4.5 there? I know you've got to wait a long time to see the return, but just as sort of the face value of the odds there, 4.5, is that worth considering?
Personally, no. I think, I would look to Schalke. They've got the better players. There's a very good chance that Augsburg is going to be losing at least one of their better players. Their left backs are pretty fantastic, and it looks like he'll be leaving this summer.
Okay. Now, obviously, we've got very strong contenders, and I think there's sort of less value in this league than there is on the other ones we've previewed. Top four now. Bayern Munich is priced 1. Wolfsburg 1.36. Nothing to get too excited about. Dortmund 1.4, and then Bayer Leverkusen 1.75. So there's the sort of the only value bet there, Bayer Leverkusen. Again, forget the fact that you've got to wait a whole year to see the return for your money. But would Bayer Leverkusen be in there in your top four to consider? And if not, is there somebody else we should think about?
Unfortunately, it's difficult to say because Bayer Leverkusen could lose minimum 3 players by the end of the transfer window. You've got Karim Bellarabi, who has been sought after by Manchester City, Christopher Kramer and Son Heung-min, both of whom have been linked to Tottenham in the last week. Now, if those 3 players leave, that's the heart of their side gone, and they really need to do some work to bring players back in. For me, I think it's too early. I do like the Leverkusen side. I think they've got a chance. They're down as my fourth choice right now, but with the way the transfer market's going, anything could happen.
Now, Bayern Munich are favoured to win, 1.12. They've won it 3 years in a row. Should we consider anyone else? For example, possibly Dortmund here. You have been sort of talking about sort of the positive changes that Dortmund's making, but it's worth noting, that they won't be taking part in any sort of Champions League or Europa League fixtures this year as they ended 7th. So this could really give them this sort of like time to really focus on winning the Bundesliga. Should we consider them to win the Bundesliga title?
The short answer on that one is the very short answer. It's no. I cannot see any way past Bayern Munich. I would be extremely surprised if they managed to throw it away. They suffered injury problems last year. They had a lot on their plate. They're expected to do extremely well in Champions League, and they just fell a little bit short. There was some talk about their manager leaving. Now the manager stayed. The players are getting fitter. They've got some young players coming through. They've just spent a huge amount of money on Douglas Costa. The only slight blot on the horizon is maybe Schweinsteiger's leaving. So, that could hurt a little bit, but not enough to cost them the title, I think. They had it wrapped up by March last year. There is no way that side's going to drop that kind of distance.
Yeah, they're an incredibly strong team, and I'm with you as well. I can't see much past Bayern Munich here. Stuart, thank you for joining us today.
Anytime.